I could spend 3 hours with you. Before we move on to Jersey, here are two quick things. I mean, do you think, well, I mean, you had your, interview with Ramona. She calls it legacy loser. We all know, listen, Ramona was fired. Let's just be honest. I mean, are we excited? I mean, where is the legacy cast? Like, look, it's obviously contracts are out, like Jill and Kelly and Luann and Sonia and Dorinda, 5. Okay, so can you have a legacy without Ramona? How is that even like a thing? It seems to be happening. And now we have 5 people. Where are there 6th and or 7th person coming from? I have the names here. We can go down the list. It's very slim pickings. You want Jules Weinstein? No offense. We're using the word legacy now. So, I mean, maybe we'll call it something else. Is Jules in there?
Don't call it legacy. Go ahead.
You can't call it legacy.
No. So
we have Kristen Tateman, Heather Thompson. They could have used, but they're not going to now. After she came back, it's nothing against her. I love her. She was on my show. They did her dirty on 13, and her edit was. They're not using her. Carol Razawell. I mean, come on, they're not using her. She says she's not going to do it. I actually might believe Carol that she's over Housewives. You're not going to do Jules, Kristen, Cindy Barshop. Who I know, no offense.
No offense.
We are down to like basically Tinsley Mortimer. Yes.
Who I actually love. I love her. So legacy's a stretch, but I do love her.
But I don't know if she really wants to do it. And then you have Ebony, who I love. They're not going to use Ebony.
No,
love her.
I love her too. Love her too. Not happening.
I don't love her, and they're not going to use Leah. Don't love her, and they're not using her. Love. Let's be clear. I love Ebony, and they're not using her. I do not love Leah, and they're not using her. Let's just be very clear about that.
You made that very clear, David. You do not love Leah.
Not at all. And so we're literally out of human beings. Tinsley and Alex are the only 2 that could round out this cast, and I'm not so sure either of them would do it. Maybe Alex. Now we're down to 5, and we all know 5 is the kiss of death. So how is this show gonna work?
It's not going to. So let me just and listen, I have to be honest, and this is coming from my producer background. You can't call a show legacy without Ramona, without Bethany. And look, I know when it comes to Bethany, you either love her or hate her, right? But I like to go off the fact of the title. And this is the title that they decided to use based on the exclusive to Variety magazine. So we're not making this up. They called it Legacy. So I'm basing this off of what they said. They called it Legacy. And I think our minds, David, went towards like, oh, wait, Bethany, Ramona, Sonia, Luann, Jill Zarin, maybe Alex. Oh, I'm into that shit. Yes, let's do it. And then it started to dwindle with like Bethany said, I'm not doing it. And I believe her. She's not going to do it. Ramona isn't doing it. And look, I love Sonia. I love Luann. I love Luann.
Love
Luann. I'm mad that I missed a cabaret in Los Angeles a few months ago or last year.
Are you going to be in New York like February, March? She's doing a circuit.
I can be. Give me some tickets, David. That's your girl.
Okay, I'll DM you.
I'm serious.
I'll give you. Okay, we'll go. I'm very serious.
Okay, let me know.
Okay.
Love Luann. And Luann will say this too. And this is the reason why you and I are friends with people who get good television. What you and I are both saying, Luann will say, Sonia would say, you mean to tell me we're doing a show called Legacy without Ramona? This is why Lisa Rinna's absence is going to be felt. Ramona was the star of Ultimate Girls Trip Season 1. She was the star. She knows how to clock in and be herself, but also give good television. The mashup between her and Kenya Moore was genius because Ramona knew what she was doing. You know good and well not to call Kenya Moore a bitch. But Ramona knew, like, let me see how far I can go with this woman. And then she cries her tears, but she knew to give us good television. Luann, Sonia, Dorinda, they're not going to stir the pot. And I think the thing with Dorinda is this. She's the one that's going to have to be more careful because some of the stuff she does just isn't entertaining. It comes across a little bit sad. And I think with Ramona, say what you want about her, it was a shock value of Ramona where you still felt like, I'm entertained, at least. And that's what's going to be missing from Legacy.
So why do you think, I mean, I have my own theories, but why do you think, and then we have to talk Jersey, why do you think Ramona is fired?
Listen, I think based upon Twitter, I think
You
based
do?
upon, yeah, I think it's a lot of things, right? Obviously, she said on my podcast that there was an investigation about racism and nothing was founded. And then Ebony on her podcast responded and said, and went into deeper detail about, you know, she may have said the N-word and all those things, which again, we don't know if any of these things happen because you and I don't work for human resources. So I think a lot of that sort of unearthed this sort of like cautionary tale when it came to the Ramona train. Listen, I think, listen, let me just tell you my opinion.
And I'll give you mine, and it's just what it is. I've always stated
It is what
on.
it is. I think Ramona is the sole reason why they split the show into two. Period.
Really?
She's the reason. Because I think they were definitely 50-50 with Ramona, right? Which is why the show was split into two. And I think just based on the interviews and Twitter and everything else the other stuff going on New York, the first 2 weeks of filming, okay? I think all of that problematic stuff just made them say, like, we can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm similar to that, but I'm more like, I just think truly, I mean, whether she's really ever said this or not, specifically, I think that Ebony there was an investigation. And then I just think like legally, like if you're not going to have Ebony on this network in some respects, you almost can't have Ramona. I think there's it's too much exposure of like, wait, I launched an investigation. You found nothing, but now the woman's employed. I just think, regardless of contracts and what's signed, that legally is exposure for a lawsuit from Ebony. Now, I'm not saying she would do, I'm just saying, and to add fuel to the fire, all your stuff. And I'm just like, we just legally can't, like, I think somebody legally is like, this woman's great TV and she's great ratings. We can't do this. It's legally like, we had an investigation, alleged N-word, all sorts of other things. And now we're employing her and the other woman is fired.
Yeah.
I think that's just where my mind goes. Just so
no,
like,
and that's why.
And someone's like, I don't give a fuck, Andy. I don't give a fuck, other person. Squash the shit. I don't want to hear the word Ramona ever again. It's coming. That's what I think from such a high